How they hang in YouTube! Thralls of Metal back with another thrilling episode, number 4, in fact, of Real Metal.
Number 5,
Number
in
five.
fact.
In fact, it's number 5! I'm Rin,
I am Shredlord.
I'm Necrotic Nick.
and we are going to go over the Beavis and Butt-Head Experience.
So this came out in 1993 on the 23rd of November, in fact, on Geffen Records, and it is pretty much a companion piece to the show. This was pretty much MTV and Geffen Records capitalizing on the success of this underground animated show that was a cultural mecca for
Phenomenon.
some of us.
Phenomenon.
For a lot of us.
For most parents during this time, this was the bane of their existence because their kids would act like us. We actually were those kids. Never mind.
Impersonate,
It's true.
impersonate the great Cornholio.
I mean, the Great Cornholio, his name is great, and there...
I am the great Bangholio. Me TV for my bunghole. Are you threatening me? My bunghole go rah, rah.
And that's why family therapy exists. At least in the 90s, that's why.
Yeah.
So, this whole compilation, it's technically kind of a soundtrack and a compilation. Because, soundtrack, you think film. This was not a film, it was a show, but the show revolved around two idiots watching music videos. And this was a time where Headbangers Ball was...
Strong.
Well, kind of getting off the air. But this was almost kind of their replacement because they would play heavy metal videos, and we get to see some of our favorite videos and watch these two doofuses make fun of them. So this kind of prompted them to kind of capitalize on this momentum and put out this compilation, which was a really interesting compilation. It kind of is a comedy album with skits in between almost every track, but you also had unreleased material from bands, you had songs that were specifically made for the soundtrack, and you had songs that were to come in the future, so kind of a promo device, much like soundtracks do. And this was kind of all over the place, though there is more than enough metal on here for Thralls of Metal to cover it, so we had to.
So it starts off with thunderous applause, and one Beavis and one Butthead enter the stage and start ja-ja-ja-ja-ja. And then Beavis goes into a sweet guitar solo.
I mean, you had to.
Willy wah, wah, willy wah, wah.
It's highly entertaining.
It is.
And then it leads us into I Hate Myself and I Want to Die by Nirvana, which, ironic song title, but yeah, I just don't know anymore.
Did he want to die, or did someone else want him to die?
Strangely enough, though, the song doesn't have anything to do with suicide, which I thought was probably the funniest part. The song is one of the B-sides on here, and it's an interesting one. This was intended to be on In Utero, but it didn't make the cut, and they were going to release it as a B-side to Penny Royalty, and they got the opportunity to throw it on this soundtrack, and was like, why not? Let's just do that.
It's a heavier Nirvana tune.
It's straightforward, it's gritty, the Steve Albini production. Honestly, after going over the latest Dark Throne album, you slap on Nocturno's vocals on this, and it would fit really well.
Dave Grohl would like that.
This song makes me feel 10 years old again.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit younger than some of these other guys.
I was 23.
He was perpetually 23, but this reminds me, 93, reminds me of a time. A good time.
Now, being metalheads, of course, when I saw Anthrax and Megadeth on here, this was yet one reason that I jumped on it. There was another one on here. But Anthrax's song is specifically different. First off, there's a long skit beforehand.
And it's
Hilarious.
great.
It's the best skit on the entire album, in my opinion.
And that and their appearance on Married with Children are the reason Anthrax is awesome.
Yes. I mean,
Besides
everything else.
The music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides the music. But yeah.
But yeah, the whole, remember when we met Anthrax, that was cool, and then I guess it was only cool for two of them, namely Beavis and Butt-Head. Something to do with a photo book.
Naked photo book, and Beavis running
Alphabetized.
into the bathroom with said photo book.
Taking a dump. Yeah, Anthrax is hilarious in it. Scott threatens to break their legs.
I think Charlie calls Butthead a dick, or
Yeah.
at least his haircut makes him look like a dick.
Yeah.
But the song on it, they choose to do a cover of BC Boys Looking Down the Barrel of a Gun.
From Paul's Boutique.
And if you're familiar with I'm the Man, you know that these guys love the Beastie Boys and can do a pretty spot-on imitation. I actually had to look just to see if any of the Beastie Boys were present in the studio when they did this. No, this was just them. And then Megadeth probably has one of the most recognizable songs on here, 99 Ways to Die, which it might be one of my favorite Megadeth songs of all time. I like this song better than almost everything on Euthanasia, which was the album that was popular at this time or was coming out. Either way, great song, one of the best thrashy songs in there. Killer chorus, I love the lead work on it. It's
the flamenco, Marty Friedman's flamenco.
Well, that is
El Mariachi.
Greatest era of Megadeth ever recorded.
El Mariachi.
So,
but I do like making fun of Dave in this one now.
One more yesterday.
Dude, you can see him like sneering with every word.
So if you're a real Beavis and Butt-Head fan, you know that, well, both of them are stupid. Butt-Head might be slightly more intelligent than Beavis.
Debatable.
Yeah, well,
It's debatable, but I believe it to be so. Butt-Head is at least smart enough to croon possibly one of the greatest love songs of all time. Come to Butt-Head. Come a little closer to his love. In a year of COVID where we've done social distancing, maybe we all need to reflect. Maybe we all need to dig deep and come a little closer to Butt-Head's love and just...
every part of me touching every part of you.
And that's a true caress. This song is hilarious. It is Isaac Hayes meets Barry White. Plenty of Butt-Head and Beavis humor, and this song is sheer fucking gold.
Yes.
If you like to giggle, then you have to listen to this song. I'm going to make these guys listen to it probably a few more times throughout the night alone.
If you like to giggle or make love down by the fire, because sometimes you have to act like a wuss to get some chicks.
So you can see their thingies.
You gotta see their thingies.
The thingies are the important thingies.
Probably my favorite song on the album is White Zombie, I Am Hell. Ugh, the
Great song.
groove, the chorus, I am hell. Might be the first time Rob started doing the weird nasally kind of vocals.
Yeah.
But it works. This was still White Zombie, which is the better of the zombies.
Yes.
Without question.
You know,
Without question.
Yeah, this is a crushing song that should have been on either Los Exorcisto or Astro Creep, but it was recorded in the middle of the 5 or 6 years in between the two damn albums.
This was a weird time for White Zombie because they were in between albums. They also had a different drummer that I didn't know about, Phil Bierslut. I don't know how to say your last
Phil
name.
Bierslut.
Yeah, that is not how it's pronounced. I'm sure if it is,
Bierslut.
I'm pretty sure your high school was pretty rough with you.
It's Frankenstein.
But yeah, they were kind of like transitioning over to the newer sound. Like you can hear the industrial elements come in, and Phil would leave the band due to artistic differences with more than likely Rob Zombie.
Maybe.
And they would get one John Tempesta who would fill out the remainder of White Zombie and a little bit of Rob Zombie as well. But yeah, this is why I bought the soundtrack. I literally saw that this was on there. I did not recognize it from any album, and I was like, well, I want to hear it. And yeah, this song is one of my favorites on here. It's fucking heavier than hell.
The damn squealies in the bridge.
And just a big, nasty breakdown of a chorus.
Yeah.
Like, it's just punchy as hell.
Pit City. Old people style.
Us.
That's, yeah.
Yeah. So then you get one that I think is particularly special on here, Primus's Poetry and Prose. Now, this was a song written for the soundtrack, literally about Beavis and Butt-Head and just how much Les Claypool loves them. And holy shit, this song's awesome. Everything you love about Primus. It's high energy, funky song. The bass licks are nuts. And it's Les being Les. And it's just an absolutely whoop-ass song.
It reminds me of Sausage. That was the reworked original Primus lineup that Les did. It's got that weird jerky thing. It's a great song, but it's even weird kind of Primus. It's more like Les's solo stuff than it would be Primus. But
yeah,
it's still very obviously Primus. This was the first cartoon that Les wrote a song for, not South Park.
Yeah. South Park would come later. And then as a bonus cover, you get Red Hot Chili Peppers covering the Stooges' Search and Destroy, which I love this cover just because it sounds like they recorded it right in the studio, just jammed it out.
Live.
Feedback is
One microphone.
Punky.
punching, But yeah, they nail the song. It's a killer song, you know. Street walking kid with a heart full of napalm. I believe him.
And if you didn't know any better, you wouldn't really know that this was the Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
It's not funky particularly. Anthony Kiedis has some sort of distortion going on, so he doesn't sound... I don't think he says California.
Nope.
He probably does in the background somewhere.
You have to reference it at least once.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
California, what was that? Nothing. Just keep going.
Search and Destroy.
Yep, that's what I said.
Now, this soundtrack isn't just all about metal. There are a few hip-hop, early 90s hip-hop vibes on here, such as Run DMC and Sir Mix-a-Lot. And I have to say, once again, this was very early 90s hip-hop and very enjoyable to listen to, even though it wasn't metal. I did find that I enjoyed Monster Mac by Sir Mix-a-Lot a little bit more than Bounce by Run DMC, but these tracks were still fun because the sound and vibe of these are sounds and vibes that I haven't heard in a very long time.
I enjoyed Monster Mac more. The Run DMC one, see, I love old Run DMC.
Yeah.
I grew up on that. That's part of that early MTV stuff for me.
I have Adidas on right now.
But this was 90s Run DMC when they kind of brought on the harder image, a little bit more California.
West Coast gangster rap. It sounds like Dre produced it.
Yeah, it doesn't fit.
Yeah, it's not Hollis Queens.
No part of that really echoes that. In fact, Reverend Run sounds, I don't know. It doesn't even sound like it, but
No.
you know, DMC does. DMC sounds
Oh,
awesome.
he flows. Yeah, DMC's the man.
But yeah,
He's a metalhead too.
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And Sir Mix-a-Lot song's fun. Like, this was actually going to be a track on the follow-up to the one with Baby Got Back on it. I can't remember what the hell the name of that
doesn't
one
matter.
was.
I think this
No
song
one
is
remembers.
also about butts.
It might be about butts and about being a monster and a Mac, but not like a truck, but like a
But
different kind
It
of...
might be about his penis, which is the Monster Mac truck, trying to find
Tunnels?
the buns.
but
Because his
Butt.
anaconda don't want none unless you've got buns on.
that's a different song. But he said something about glutes and
Yeah.
something.
posteriors.
Yes, yeah. Whatever happened to him? Where is he? We need him in this world now.
I know he's still around. I mean, dude,
Cashing those baby got back checks.
I mean,
Would you?
baby got greenbacks.
Baby
got
back
greenbacks.
checks.
Maybe
Yeah,
that
where the hell was
would-
Chili's on that, man? Dude, that could have been like the greatest run of commercials, but you got like what? The NSYNC dudes?
Baby got
Seriously.
back ribs at Applebee's.
Limited time only.
I would have bought them. I was going to buy them anyway.
You know, this album is virtually without a stinker, but I will say there is one stinker on this album. One. I personally am not a big Jackal fan. They are incredibly gimmicky, AC/DC in all the bad ways. And the chainsaw... there was no chainsaw that I recall. I don't remember hearing a chainsaw, but that doesn't mean that it was any better.
You're using a lot of words to just say fucking terrible.
I was just unaware that they had another song.
They had others?
That's what I was like, oh.
The only one I remember is the Down on Me.
I don't even remember
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Sunshine
Yeah, that could have been.
down on me.
That could have been any number of handful bands.
Yes.
Too. Yeah. So that was them. Yeah, I know two of their songs then.
I mean,
All right, Jesse.
this was like a demo for a song that would come out on an album that hopefully no one bought.
No, they didn't.
I mean, if you're curious about Jackal, just look around your county fairs. They're probably going to play a couple, you know.
Right before the tractable.
Yep. You know, getting paid in pork rinds and cases of beer. They might even, you know, sign your cut-off flannel with their emblem on it and maybe spit a little bit of dip spit on it. And, well, there you go. In fact, he does hawk a loogie at the end of this, so I think
true.
that is entirely possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackal's terrible. And that is the lone track of suck on here.
The Aerosmith song is
Yeah,
kind of close,
that's the
but-
other
While
one.
while we like Aerosmith, this
Yeah.
just wasn't the one.
And
This was the cheese ass single.
Yeah.
Wasn't even written by him. It was
Yeah.
written by a guy named Jim Valance. And it was during the whole Get a Grip era. I think this was
Yeah.
supposed to be on Get a Grip. or in that era.
Yeah.
And it was just a cast off. They threw it on the soundtrack. The song charted.
Yeah.
No fucking surprise.
Yep.
But I don't get the title. It's called Deuces Are Wild, and he keeps saying, I love her because her deuces are wild. It sounds like she shits in a field like a fucking buffalo.
It's possible.
I don't know. Is he into that? I don't know. Steven Tyler's weird.
It's a very tender song, and sometimes you do have to act like a wuss to get chicks. I don't know.
What makes her deuces wild?
Chipotle?
She puts Tabasco in everything. Ice cream, fucking Doritos, I don't know, man.
Cheerios.
Her asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. She probably wipes with it. She puts a little bit on the toilet paper first. I don't know.
Wild deuce.
It'll make a wild deuce. I don't get it. It just seems like such a cast-off bullshit song that should have dumb platitudes that you understand, because at least with all the other, like Crazy and all the other songs like that.
Crazy, Crying, Amazing.
Yeah, you understood what he was talking about. This one was like, what?
It's true. It's like a double shot of lovin' so fine. That's true, Stephen. That's true.
Yabba dabba doobie.
Mama's little baby loves shortening bread. What?
Oh, God, the 90s were cruel sometimes.
What?
But overall, man, this soundtrack is pretty damn fun.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, it's a nostalgic trip for us, and it's still hilarious that humor has not dulled with age, mostly because we peaked in maturity years ago.
Way longer.
But Cher has peaked with age.
Yes.
She is 90% plastic. And her doing I Got You, Babe with ButtHead is... I don't think it's as good as Ozzy and Miss Piggy, but it's close.
I think it's better. And I'll tell you why. It proves the point, once again, that ButtHead is a playa in disguise. And if it wasn't for Beavis cramping his style, he could be throwing down with Cher. That's what Cher tells him. She said,
Yep.
Do you want this? Get that weird guy right out of here.
You feel lucky?
Oh, you feeling lucky?
Did it take time to make fun of Sonny Bono, or as or Butthead thought it was Bono?
Yeah, Bono.
Bono.
The guy from U2.
Yeah.
Bono from U2 died in a skiing accident?
But yeah, the soundtrack is a lot of fun, and it kind of succeeds in making me like, the stuff that I usually don't listen to, because they put their fun in there, and that's the cool part of this. Except for Jackal. Jackal sucks no matter what.
That's pretty much true.
But overall, I gotta give this 4 stars. It's a fun trip down memory lane. The songs that were written for this are exceptionally good. I Am Hell fucking rips. The Anthrax song, them covering Beastie Boys, that is beyond endearing. And all the skits are great. It kind of makes this nice little segue in between tracks. Lots of killer stuff on here. Jackal's on it, but don't, you can skip past it. It's like 2 minutes. And, I mean, it sounds like, the Blister in the Sun riff, too.
Which is fun if you like that song, I guess.
That sounds terrible, too. But this is a killer soundtrack. If you see it in UCD bin or on Discogs, just go get it. It's hilarious. And Beavis and ButtHead apparently are going to be resurfacing at some point. So, yeah, this makes it feel less dated, in a way.
Kind of. I'm going to go ahead with a 4 as well. I was maybe a year into my getting into heavy metal when Beavis and ButtHead became the phenomenon that it was, and I was Beavis and or ButtHead. I had the AC/DC shirt, didn't have the Megadeth shirt. I don't know. They did probably just as much good for headbangers as they did bad for headbangers, because I remember getting beat up because people were like, oh, you're like ButtHead, and they'll punch you.
No, I'm like Beavis. No, I hit him more.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, fun, hilarity, it's cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
This soundtrack, I have to admit, there's another Beavis and ButtHead soundtrack, of course, that came after this that I was more familiar with, but listening to a lot of these songs and how the skits were on there and how a lot of these songs were made just for this album and how pretty much every song was awesome with the exception of Jackal. But yeah, this was just a lot of fun from a lot of the most badass bands of that era, really. This is, or what was this, 93?
93.
Yeah. I mean, you had some of the biggest bands ever on this soundtrack, having fun, being funny, enjoying themselves. 4 out of 5 all day for me, man. I really love this. This was a lot of fun to listen to.
So, if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. We are also on Patreon, so if you'd like to help us out there, there will be a link below in the description. And if you are interested, we have shirts available. All you have to do is hit us up on thrallsofmetal@gmail.com. Send us a message in the subject matter, say shirts, and we will get back to you, get your size information, and get you in a Thralls of Metal shirt. So, yeah, with that, we thank you all for watching, and we will catch you later.